I have to start today with a confession that might sound incredibly privileged, but I really hope it's going to resonate. I am exhausted.
Okay.
But it's not the exhaustion of, working in a coal mine or doing a double shift in the ER. It is a very specific, modern, smiling kind of fatigue.
A smiling fatigue.
Yeah, it's this background radiation of trying to make my entire existence look effortless. I'm not burning out in some dramatic collapse on the floor way. It's quieter.
Yeah.
It feels like, well, let me ask you this. Why does my downtime feel like a project management exercise?
Usually when people describe burnout, they talk about workload. But you're describing something more insidious.
Right.
You've just sketched the outline of the central pathology of our time. I don't think you're suffering from burnout in the traditional sense. I'd diagnose you with ludic neurosis.
Ludic neurosis. That sounds like something I'd need a very expensive prescription for. Or maybe a week at a silent retreat that costs more than my rent.
Which would only make it worse, but we'll get to that. Ludic comes from ludus, the Latin for play.
Okay.
Ludic neurosis is the compulsive transformation of play into work's most sophisticated disguise. We have entered an era where playfulness has been conscripted, drafted, really into the service of productivity.
So we've weaponized fun.
Essentially, the most disciplined person in the room isn't the guy in the suit with the color-coded calendar anymore. That's the old model. The new archetype of discipline is the person posting a sunset yoga pose on Instagram captioned, "Just vibing."
Oh, God. I know that person.
No.
I am that person. I posted a picture of my coffee this morning with a caption about slow mornings, but the only reason I made the coffee that way was for the photo. The slowness was a performance.
There it is. The grim-faced hustler is outdated. We've replaced him with the luminous creator who maintains perfect skin and spiritual alignment while crushing metrics.
And you're tired because you haven't stopped working.
You've just rebranded work as play. And the problem with that is, how do you unionize joy? How do you lead a revolt against fun?
That is the trap, isn't it? It's hard to complain about exploitation when your office has a beanbag chair and a cold brew tap. I remember walking into this co-working space last week. It's one of those places with neon signs that say, "Hustle harder," but in a cute font. And they literally had a slide in the lobby.
The corporate playground.
Exactly. And I'm looking at this slide, and then I'm looking at these adults in their 30s wearing sustainable sneakers, sliding down to their next meeting. And it felt dystopian.
Yes.
But harmlessly dystopian,
Yeah.
like a Black Mirror episode written by Sesame Street.
It's not harmless, though. Think about the function of that slide. It doesn't eliminate the hierarchy of the office. It decorates it. The beanbag cushions the pressure. It doesn't remove it.
You're not having a deadline anymore. You're having a sprint.
You don't have stress. You have productive friction.
It's gaslighting with better furniture.
It's a total capture of the human spirit. Capitalism realized that if it demands your compliance, you might resist. But if it invites your playfulness, if it says, "Come on, we're all just having fun here," then resistance loses its vocabulary.
And the source of your exhaustion is that you never actually clock out.
Because if work is fun, why would you ever need to stop?
This actually explains a really weird anxiety I have about weekends. I used to love doing nothing. Now, if I spend a Saturday just lying on the couch staring at the ceiling, I feel this creeping guilt.
Yes.
Not because I'm not working, but because I'm not relaxing correctly.
Correctly is the key word there.
Right. I catch myself planning my digital detox. I'm like, okay, I'm going to book this cabin, I'm going to unplug. But in my head, I'm already framing the shot of my bare feet in the moss to prove how disconnected I am.
That is the perfect example of performed disconnection. You aren't escaping the logic of productivity, you're refining it. You are expanding the territory of optimization to include your leisure.
So it's not an escape.
It's a pit stop. It's scheduled between client calls and calibrated to maximize your focus scores when you return.
So the rest is just a battery recharge, so I can be a better machine on Monday.
Worse, it's content. Deep down, the anxiety you feel on Sunday night isn't about the work coming on Monday. It's the fear that you wasted the weekend by not producing a single shareable moment of authentic joy.
Oh, wow.
If you went to the woods and didn't get the photo of the mist rising over the lake, did you even relax?
That hits hard. It's like if a tree falls in the forest and no one posts it on TikTok, did it make a sound? I feel like I've let the factory manager into my living room.
You've let the factory manager into your soul. You've allowed the logic of efficiency to colonize your inner emotional landscape.
But who is that manager? Because it doesn't feel like a yelling boss. The voice in my head isn't screaming at me. It's actually kind of helpful. It's encouraging.
This is where we have to get a little Freudian. We need to look at the superego.
Okay, lay it on me. Freud 101. The superego is the no voice, right?
Traditionally, yes. In Freud's Victorian era, the superego was a stern father figure. It sat in a heavy armchair smoking a cigar, shouting, "Work harder, be moral, repress your desires."
Prohibition.
It was about prohibition.
The classic guilt trip. Don't eat that, don't sleep with that person, get back to the factory.
Exactly, but that doesn't work on us anymore. We're modern, we're liberated.
Yeah.
So the superego underwent a rebrand.
Yep.
It's no longer a Victorian father, it's a wellness coach with an MBA. It doesn't shout, it whispers through your noise-canceling headphones. It says, "You deserve rest."
See, that sounds nice. I want to be told I deserve rest.
But listen to the second half of the sentence. You deserve rest. So you should buy this meditation cushion with posture sensors to track your stillness. It doesn't oppose your desires, it hijacks them.
Oh, wow. So it takes what I want, laziness basically, and turns it into a project.
Precisely. Your primal, messy desire wants to lounge around in sweatpants. The wellness superego says, "Great, let's call that strategic recharging."
Right.
Your id wants to daydream. The superego says, "Excellent, that's incubation time for your next creative pivot." Even your need for solitude becomes personal brand refinement.
So I'm never just being, I'm always becoming.
You are never allowed to be idle. Idleness without purpose triggers the wrath of this new superego. But the punishment isn't the sharp, clear guilt of, "I didn't work enough."
No.
It's a diffuse, foggy shame. It's the feeling of, "I didn't play well enough."
That is exactly the feeling. It's not I'm lazy, it's I'm failing at self-care. I'm doing yoga wrong. I'm meditating wrong. I'm bad at relaxing.
You catch yourself mid-laugh at a dinner party and wonder, is this enjoyment reading as authentic? Does this look like the kind of life I'm supposed to have?
You've turned your capacity for pleasure into another metric to optimize.
Exactly.
It's the gamification of everything.
I have an Apple Watch, and I swear I have paced around my kitchen at 11:58 p.m. just to close my stand ring.
Oh, of course.
I wasn't standing because I wanted to. I was standing because the watch told me I'd lose my streak.
You were dancing for the algorithm. And this bleeds into everything. It's not just health. Look at dating.
Oh, dating is the worst offender. It's literally a game now. Swipe left, swipe right. Feels like I'm sorting mail, not looking for a partner. Dating apps are the ultimate theater for ludic neurosis. We've turned courtship into a gamified productivity loop.
It's a loop.
Matches are achievements to be unlocked. Conversations are conversion funnels. Dates are just A/B tests to see which version of your personality performs better.
A/B tests.
Ah.
That's a marketing term, right?
Yeah.
Like testing two different headlines to see which one gets more clicks.
Exactly. You go on a date, tell a story, see if they laugh. If they don't, you tweak the story for the next date. You're optimizing your user engagement.
God.
And we use that phrase, "I'm just playing the field."
Playing the field. I've used that. It sounds breezy. It sounds like I'm in control.
That's the key. To play is to remain in control. It used to mean casual detachment. Now it's a defense mechanism. If you treat intimacy like a game, you avoid the terrifying messiness of actually wanting someone.
Right. If I'm just having fun, I can't get hurt. If I lose the game, I just start a new round.
You'd rather be perceived as frivolous than exposed as wanting. The app interface encourages this hearts to tap, streaks to maintain. We approach love like product managers. Wow.
But there's another layer to this collection mindset. Have you noticed how people talk about their mental health online?
You mean the diagnosis bio? Like, "Hi, I'm an ENFP, anxious attachment, Leo sun, neurodivergent."
Yes. We collect neuroses like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. We package our anxieties into colorful data visualization.
I'm a sensitive overthinker. It's almost a brand identity.
It is a brand identity. It's
Yeah.
magical thinking. We believe that if we can name our pain, categorize it, and make it look charming,
Aestheticize it.
if we can aestheticize our suffering, we can avoid the substance of it.
Like, if I turn my panic attack into a relatable TikTok with a trending sound, maybe I don't have to feel the actual horror of not being able to breathe.
Exactly. You're performing the panic instead of experiencing it. You see influencers posting about burnout recovery while adhering to a strict 3 posts per day schedule. The performance of wellness becomes indistinguishable from the performance of the self. I want to pull on a thread you mentioned earlier about revolt and resistance. Because if we are all just playing and vibing and being so positive, where did all our anger go? I feel like people are angry. I'm angry. But I don't know where to put it.
This is a crucial question. Civilization demands we suppress aggression. You can't just punch the barista because your latte is cold. Freud called this sublimation.
Sublimation?
You take a raw, socially unacceptable impulse like rage, and you transform it into something socially useful, like turning a solid into a gas.
Okay, so sublimation is like, instead of screaming, I write a strongly worded email.
In the past, yes. But today, we sublimate aggression into playful competition. Think about the language of the modern workplace. We don't just finish tasks. What do?
We crush them. We slay. I killed that presentation.
Exactly. Slay, crush, kill, destroy. It's violent language laundered through a smile. And think about your to-do list app. When you check off an item, what happens?
A little puff of digital confetti explodes. Or a ding sound.
That confetti is a tiny digital catharsis for your rage.
Well, the confetti is for my rage. I thought it was for my dopamine.
It's both. It's a safe release valve for the fury of powerlessness. You can't scream at your boss, you can't burn down the office, but you can slay your inbox. The energy is violent, but the costume is cute.
It's aggression in a playpen.
That's it.
That makes so much sense. I get this weirdly aggressive satisfaction from hitting inbox 0. It feels physical.
Well, let's talk about that physical feeling, because if aggression is being channeled into the apps, what about libido? What about desire?
Are you suggesting I'm sexually attracted to my spreadsheet?
Mm-hmm.
Because I draw the line there.
I'm suggesting that capitalism is uncomfortable with raw libido because it's chaotic. You can't mass produce what someone truly deeply wants, so it has to be captured and redirected.
Ow.
The productivity app doesn't just track you, it eroticizes the habit.
Eroticizes the habit, like the streak.
Yes. That dopamine hit of a 7-day streak, that is engineered libido. We chase the high of productivity because we have nowhere else to put our longing. We've channeled our capacity for rapture into the safe, measurable thrill of hitting targets.
It's libido in a straitjacket.
Exact.
This connects to something that frankly creeps me out. I was at the bank the other day, a serious place, where they keep money. And their new ad campaign used this jagged, childlike font. And the tellers were wearing t-shirts that said, "Let's do this."
Oh, yes.
It felt wrong. It felt haunted.
That is the uncanny, das Unheimlich. Freud describes it as the familiar made strange. When you see corporate play, what I call zombie play, it registers as alien.
Zombie play. I like that. Or I hate it. I'm not sure.
You should hate it. It feels wrong because deep down, you know that true play has no purpose. True play is chaotic. It's messy. Capitalism cannot tolerate purposelessness, so it resurrects the corpse of play, dresses it in a suit, and makes it work for a living.
And you recoil.
You recoil because you are looking at a dead thing pretending to be alive.
That is terrifying. But it makes me nostalgic. I find myself thinking, I just want to play like I did when I was a kid. You know, pure, innocent, unbranded play.
I hate to be the one to break this to you, but that is a fantasy.
Oh, come on, don't take my childhood away from me. I had Legos. I had imagination.
We have to be real here. Childhood play was never pure. It was a rehearsal for control. Children play to master trauma.
Trauma. I was just building a spaceship.
Think about the most basic game, peekaboo.
Okay, peekaboo,
Yeah.
the baby game.
It's the toddler's most obsessive game. But look at the structure. The parent covers their face. Disappearance.
Right.
That creates anxiety in the child. Mom is gone. Then the hands move. Reappearance. Relief. Mom is back. Then what does this child do?
They laugh and want you to do it again.
Repetition.
Yeah.
The child is mastering the trauma of maternal separation. They are controlling the disappearance.
Okay, so it's a coping mechanism. How does that apply to me, a 30-something with a smartphone?
We have digitized peekaboo. Think about posting an Instagram story.
Oh no, I see where this is going.
You post it. That's the disappearance. You throw something into the void. Then you wait. That's the anxiety. Will anyone see me? Do I exist?
And then the likes roll in.
That's the reappearance validation. I am here. And then what do?
I do it again and again and again.
Repetition. You are playing peekaboo to survive the terror of irrelevance. You never left the playground. You just convinced yourself the slide was a ladder. We are using the same psychic machinery we used as toddlers, just with better lighting and filters.
This is bleak. So all this optimization, this glow-up culture, the constant trying to be better, happier, more productive, where does it end? If we're just repeating these loops, what are we actually racing toward?
This is the darkest part of the diagnosis. Freud called it anatos, the death drive.
The death drive. Wait, I'm not trying to die. I'm trying to optimize my morning routine. I'm drinking green juice.
But why? To be flawless, to be frictionless, to be perfectly efficient. The death drive isn't necessarily a desire to die violently. It's the compulsion to return to an inorganic state. To be like a stone, Smooth, unchanging, unaffected by the world.
So, perfection is a kind of death.
Exactly. Life is messy, inefficient, and painful. To be fully optimized is to be fully dead. The cycle of burnout and detox, grind and glow, it's a repetition compulsion.
And we aren't racing toward life.
We are dissolving into the death drive via optimization. We are racing toward the end with excellent vibes.
Racing toward the end with excellent vibes. That is going to haunt me at my next yoga class.
It's the gentle, smiling erosion of the self. We want to be machines because machines don't feel pain.
So if this is the trap, with my fun is work, my rest is work, my dating is work, and my desire to be better is actually a desire to stop feeling anything, what happens if I just stop?
That is the dangerous question.
Because I feel like I'm being watched, even when I'm alone. If I don't optimize, I feel guilty.
You are being watched, but not by a camera. Foucault talked about the panopticon, the prison where the inmates behave, because there might be a guard in the tower.
Right.
But we don't need the tower anymore. We have installed the guard inside our own capacity for joy.
The guard is in my head asking, are you enjoying this correctly? Is this on brand?
Exactly. You are constantly micro-calibrating your own happiness. Is this relaxing enough? Is this spontaneous enough?
It's worth posting.
The interior panopticon is complete. The playfulness is the encryption for a desperate plea to just be. But we've forgotten how to be without an audience, even if that audience is just our future self looking at the memories.
It's like we're terrified of the silence.
We are terrified of the unperformed self. Because if you aren't performing, do you even exist?
So here is the question I want to leave everyone with. It's one that's actually making me a little uncomfortable right now.
Let's hear it.
Who would you be if you stopped performing, even your playfulness? What would you do if no one was watching? Not even you.
That is the only question that matters. And the answer might be the only thing that's actually real.
I think I need to go sit in a room, stare at a wall, and absolutely not take a picture of it. Thanks for this unsettling therapy session.
Good luck with the silence.